In the previous chapter, we saw the entire timeline that Linux has evolved through and then became the most secure operating system, of course, with multiple flavors of itself that we call Linux distributions. The topic that we are going to discuss in this tutorial is arguably the most important and powerful tool of the Linux operating system. This tool is called the Linux terminal, often referred to as the Linux command line. You might have noticed in various movies that a hacker-like person working on a computer that has multiple green or black color screens open. Though it appears to be fascinating, don't be surprised if I tell you that it is nothing but just one kind of terminal window that is used to give instructions in the form of commands to the computer. The commands typed here are processed and a desired output based on the hacker's instruction is performed. Initially, Linux was all about this terminal window. Due to this reason, Linux was being considered very less user-friendly. Not everyone would like to type commands in the black box to get a file created, right? As a result of this, it was the least preferred operating system for the users of that time. But with time, Linux has evolved, and with lots of improvements in its graphical user interface, thereby making Linux an easy to use system. This has brought Linux back into competition with other operating systems that we generally see around us today. In this tutorial, I intend to make you aware of the Linux terminal, show you how to customize it as per your preferences, and get started with writing your commands. If you are already having a good experience working on the Linux terminal, you can skip this part of the video and move to the next one. So let's switch to the Linux system. Starting from the very basics, to work on the terminal, you will have to first find the terminal. It's very easy to do so. Just click on these dotted lines on the left bottom of your screen. In the search bar over here, type terminal and you will get to see the terminal icon over here. But I don't want you to go through this entire process every time you want to open the terminal window. So what you have to do is just right click on this terminal window and add this terminal window to your favorites. So now you can see that the terminal window has come to my favorites bar. So let's click, open the terminal window. Obviously, it is not even closer to the one which we saw in the hackers example, but we will soon see similarities once we start customizing it from the preferences menu. Okay, so first thing first, you can see that there is a plus button. You can click over here and you can add any number of tabs you want. Okay, coming to these three lines, this will open your menu, right? And here you will be finding the preferences button. You have to click on the preferences so that you get to see this kind of icon. I understand that there is a possibility that you might be using a different flavor of this Linux distribution. Okay, since I'm using Ubuntu, and if you are using Ubuntu too, you will be having almost the same kind of interface on your screen. But if it is different, don't worry, the functionalities are similar in all the cases. So let me show you side by side. Now you can see that I'm having a shortcut button where there are certain shortcuts listed over here. I'm having a new tab. To open a new tab, I can press Shift plus Control button plus T. So let me try it out for you. Shift plus Control button plus T. And yes, it works. Again, to close the tab, if I'll be using Shift plus Control plus W, it should ideally close the tab. It does. Again, there are a few more things, like if I go to the profiles, I will be having the options to change the font and change the font size. So I will not play around with the font, or I can change also. Okay, and then the font size. So for better visibility while making the tutorials for you so that it is more clear, I'll be keeping it a bigger font size. So I have selected this. You can see as I've made the changes are immediately reflected. Now moving to the next menu option, I have the colors where I can set the system to use the default settings which is the same color, or I can change it and I can put my custom color. So if I have to use the green color, I'll just select it to a background which is greenish. I can change the text color as well. If I have to play around with the transparency, I can change it how transparent I want. So I have to first check this checkbox, and then you can see that I can increase the transparency. So if I write, I'll be able to see the desktop as well. Okay. I generally prefer to keep the transparency to the lowest so that I am able to see the text box clearly from here. There are many more options in this Preferences tab which I want you to log into your systems and check personally, explore this entire menu option so that you know that what suits you better and how you can customize it. Also, by any chance, if you get to work on a Kali Linux machine, you will also be able to see a behavior tab which gives you the option to customize the history size in the number of lines of code. This means you can either set your terminal to store the command history up to 1000 lines of codes or 2000 or whatever number you want, or you can select this option and set the terminal to store all the history of the commands that you have entered. There are many more options again. So this is applicable to Kali Linux. As I have already brought out that depending on the kind of Linux distribution that you're using, these options may vary a little bit, but overall the settings are similar. I made this particular video to give you a look and feel of the terminal. I want you to pause the video here and try it out on your own to explore the available options in the Preferences menu. Go ahead and customize the terminal that best suits your comfort. Next video onwards, almost in every lecture, you will be required to use the same terminal window to work with the Linux commands. I'll end this video over here and I will be picking up with you in the next tutorial.